Russia seems to be back. Russia seems, I think that in my view, and I don't share the analysis that many have done, that Russia made an unprovoked invasion of Georgia. But I do feel that beyond the incident of Georgia and South Ossetia, that to some degree, Russia's in a position with the United States where it had a lot to gain by demonstrating an ability to break the middle finger of the United States regionally, but that it also has a lot to gain in showing that the optics of global power haven't changed that much because it doesn't want the responsibility for doing everything else, nor do I think China does. But I'd like you both to talk a little bit about China and Russia and the fact that a global equilibrium seems to be thrown out of balance today. And what would you do if you were advising the next president in terms of dealing with two other, one real ascending power and one provocative power, that both seem to matter more in various other kinds of disputes? So a little bit about on China and Russia, Brent?
I think they're very different countries and very different positions. I think China is in the process that really began in 1972 with Nixon's visit of emerging from the status of really hermit kingdom to participate in the world. And it's done that very gradually, very slowly. And even now, the Chinese are somewhat reluctant to behave, in Bob Zellick's term, as responsible stakeholders. That is, because of their power and their strength and position in the world, play a role in problems that aren't directly related to their own narrow interests. But they're getting better. They've changed dramatically on North Korea. Even on Darfur now, they're admitting that there are problems that they ought to help with. In addition, China is not, my judgment, is not trying to overturn the world order. They're dependent heavily on imports, especially of energy, but of other kinds of raw materials. And they depend heavily on exports for their manufactured goods. That means they have a stake in the system. So they're trying to profit by the system rather than overturn it. And I think that's fairly fundamental. The Russians, on the other hand, have gone from a position of the Cold War of for all practical purposes for our discussion, one of two superpowers, to a position by 1998 of cataclysmic collapse, both politically and economically. And I think that has introduced a lot of sense of humiliation, and the West during that time behaved in a way that many in Russia, including the former president, have taken to be a deliberate attempt to take advantage of the fact that they were weak. So this is a country that for a decade or more has built up a sense of grievance. And now they feel they've regained their strength, mostly as a result of oil prices and so on. But now they're strong, and they want to change that. They want to make up for the past, and they want to show that they are a key player in the world and it can't be pushed away.